a look around me, taking pages from a magazine. Been looking for the answers ever since we were 17. You know the truth can be a weapon to fight this world of ill intentions. A new answer to the same question: how many times will you learn the same lesson? I think they got it all wrong. We just gotta hold on and on and on and on. 'Cause we're gonna be legends, gonna get their attention. What we're doing here ain't just scary, it's about to be legendary. Yeah, we're gonna be legends, gonna teach them all a lesson. Got this feeling in our souls we carry, that it's about to be legendary. This is what we came for, and we couldn't want it anymore. We could never turn back now, got to leave it all on the floor. Been dreaming of the payoff, through the struggles and the trade-offs. Fighting tooth and nail on the way up. Tell them the truth, but they think it's just made up. And I think they got it all wrong, but we just gotta hold on and on and on and on. 'Cause we're gonna be legends, gonna get their attention. What we're doing here ain't just scary, it's about to be legendary. Yeah, we're gonna be legends, gonna teach them all a lesson. Got this feeling in our souls we carry, it's about to be legendary. Eventually they're gonna know who's right. To make a stand you got to win the fight. Can't stand the heat and just the afterlife, or you might never make it out alive. You gotta live without a compromise. Let everybody hear your battle cry. Yeah, we're gonna be legends, gonna get their attention. What we're doing here ain't just scary, it's about to be legendary. Yeah, we're gonna be legends, gonna teach them all a lesson. Got this feeling in our souls we carry, it's about to be legendary. Hey! Oh, oh. Legends.
But Arizona sky burning in your eyes. You look at me, babe, I wanna catch on fire. It's buried in my soul, like California gold. You found the light in me that I couldn't find. So when I'm all choked up but I can't find the words, every time we say goodbye, baby, it hurts. When the sun goes down and the band won't play, I'll always remember us this way. Lovers in the night, though it's trying to ride. We don't know how to rhyme, but damn, we try. But all I really know, you're where I wanna go. this way.
Well, hello, hello, hello. Happy Father's Day, everyone. Happy Father's Day, happy Father's Day, happy Father's Day. And welcome to the Collective Live Stream. My name is Brandon Tobias. It's an honor to have you here. Whether you're on TikTok, whether you're on YouTube, or if you're watching this sometime in the future, I honor you, I thank you, I'm grateful for you for being here today on this very sacred day, Father's Day indeed, very special day here. Okay, we got to look at the astrology for today as well. I feel like that's going to be a good thing to do just for today. Just as a special sneak peek to what's going on astrologically, to see how we can honor all of the fathers and all of the dads out there with the collective energy. Okay, as I touch the energy here, as I touch the energy collectively, and by the way, if those of you guys who are new or returning, I welcome you. If you're new here, again, my name is Brandon Tobias. This is my channel, Science of the Soul and Stars. And what we do here is we do weekly and monthly collective updates. Okay, sometimes for your specific horoscope science, you can get those weekly and monthly guidance messages from the divine, specifically for your highest good and healing, but to help you step into your soul purpose. I realized my soul purpose, okay, what I believe I'm here to do on this earth and this planet, is to help spark people alive into their greatest soul purpose. And that's by delivering messages on at least a weekly basis on various platforms at this time, and in love and in life. And one thing I believe is that love, specifically true love, specifically romantic love, is the greatest catalyst. It's the greatest catalyst, okay, through the ups and the downs of the journey to helping us step into and find our soul purpose. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I've normally always forget to do this, but I'm going to remember this time and become my own best PR agent. But if you can do me a favor and like the video, I would greatly appreciate it. Only if you enjoy or appreciate this content and what we do on a weekly basis. And if you're new here, if I've made a good impression on you, do me a favor, hit that like button. And also do me a favor, and if you want to join the Soul family, we are building a community here of light workers who are destined to change the world. And I know that sounds a little far-fetched, a little idealistic, a little bit of a visionary. Okay, I do have my Saturn in Aquarius in the 5th, right? So creative expression and awakening the world, and quite a bit of a visionary in that respect. So forgive me there, but I'm not sorry. But we are. So, and what I found is if you are resonating with me and these messages and the community that we've built here, you are here to change the world in some way, shape, or form, big or small, grand or minute. Everything you do, everything you are, everything you choose has a tremendous impact on other people around you. And I feel that this week especially is going to be a big reminder of that. So the theme for this week is living your truth, living in authenticity, living in integrity. And I want to give a message specifically in and around Father's Day and what I feel is coming to me here. The biggest thing about Father's Day, and I'll just speak for fathers in general or dads, or the responsibility of what I feel a father would be. Not that I am a father, but someday I plan on being one, I think. We'll see. I think I got a couple spirit children waiting to come into this earth. But what I believe is, and one thing my father always taught me was to live in integrity and to speak the truth and to always be truthful. Always be truthful, always live in integrity. That was his favorite word that he still tells me today. Less so, thankfully. And he was one of my biggest unconscious guiding lights and forces, and helped me to develop into the man I am today, I would say. If he ever sees this, thank you, Dad. I love you so much. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the collective reading and messages here. Let me just check in with the chat. We do have specifically low latency messages here, so hopefully I can keep up with the messages more in real time. And as always, please let me know if there's any delay or technical disturbances on the live stream. I would appreciate it as we get into the messages here. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to open the ceremony up. We're going to call in the guides and angels. Okay. The spirits are here who are here to guide us through the power of unconditional love. We're going to get into any channel messages that they would like to share for us. I feel that there are some channel messages that they would like to share for us today. I can speak through me. And then we'll get into the channeled oracle messages. And then we'll get into the channeled love and life, highest good tarot reading. Whatever the divine has for us today. None of this is scripted. All of this is in the moment interpretation as objectively as I possibly can and channel to the best of my ability. Okay. After that, we are going to take some questions and integrate the Q&A as a regular part of this live stream so you guys can have some direction and help and assistance on your spiritual journey. And so after all of that, we'll take some questions, not about your personal love situation, but about general spiritual questions. If you are looking for a free live personal love reading, I am starting to do those on Twitch, probably a couple times a week now. And you can have a chance to get your situation read for in the moment in a pretty in-depth way, I would say. All right, you guys ready? Let's get into it. All right. No music today either. You guys remember what happened last time? Hold on one second. Let me just make sure. I want to have the, there we go. I like to be able to switch back and forth between my OBS live stream and the YouTube live stream itself so I know what I'm looking like. All right, calling in the angels and guides. Officially opening this ceremony. Calling in the angels and guides, loved ones, masters, wise ones, Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel. Please join us for today's live stream. Spirit guides and angels, please allow me to guide the collective right here and now through the power of unconditional love for the highest good and healing of all involved, and help me to live out my soul purpose by helping them to discover and step into their soul purposes. Through the power of unconditional love, please allow me to be a vehicle for positive change for the world. Thank you so much. This ceremony is now officially open. Okay. Channel messages. We're coming into the age of truth. And this age of truth requires you to be honest with yourself and with others. Honesty is the key. We'll keep it simple. Honesty is the key. If you can allow yourself to be as objective and as honest with yourself as humanly possible, and to embrace and integrate all parts of yourself, even the ones that would appear to not be harmonious with the rest of what society thinks is good, that is the key to living and moving forward at this day and time and age. What we are looking at is the possibility of mass conformity or individuality. You choose which path suits you the most, mass conformity or mass individuality. If you choose the path of individuality, you do choose indeed the tougher path. You do choose indeed the path that will lead to most difficulty. And you choose the path that will force you to embrace and to look at and to accept all parts of yourself. We admire you for this choice if you do indeed choose this path, but know it will be ridden with difficulty. On the other hand, mass conformity will be easier and will lead to outcomes that in the end will be and prove to be disastrous. No human can stand not being free. No human can stand not being free. In eventuality, all humans will know and realize the perils of losing their freedom, of losing touch with themselves, and of giving away parts of themselves to someone or something else for safety, for security, for conformity, in all sorts of ways, emotionally, physically, mentally. we ask you here and now, if you are willing to make the harder choice, to make the more difficult choice, to stand up for what is already inside of you, to stand up, to stand tall, to stand strong with what is already inside of you, in your heart and in your soul, in your voice, in your mind. It starts with you. It starts with you, and it starts from the inside out. And we ask you first to be very honest with yourself. And as you embrace this honesty, as you integrate this honesty, you will start to transform in ways that you cannot even imagine. And as you start to live again from this particular truth that is already inside of yourself, your world will start to change. Everything you could ever want, everything you could ever desire, everything that you ever felt might be in the cards for you is there so long as you embrace this inner truth that lies deep inside. We ask you now to have hope and faith and belief in that truth and to carry it forward for the rest of humanity. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much, guys. All right. Those were the channeled messages. I hope they were helpful. Let's get into the collective oracle reading. Yeah. How are you guys doing? You guys doing well? Let me just check in with you guys real quick. Elva, Ben, Pragya. Elva says, God bless you through and through. God bless you. Ben John, does that mean light, right, left, wrong, right, black, light, up, down? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Sharebone, what are you wearing now? It's marginally better so I can hear the messages. Yikes. Okay. Oh, Cheryl. Fernanda says, general message is not individual. Like a pat on the back from spirit. Good, Pragya. Trust in God. Hi, morning from Australia. Hello, welcome. All right, guys. Angels and guides, messages for the collective here. Whatever we need to know for our soul's highest good and healing at this particular time. Whatever wisdom and insight you'd like to bestow. I'll say bestow. Bestow upon us. That was so fancy. Bestow upon us with these oracle messages here. Oh, goodness. I almost forgot to show the cards here. Hello. Good day on TikTok. Welcome, guys. All right. All right, messages for our highest and greatest good with the oracle here. Wisdom and insight that we need for our path moving forward for this particular collective here now. The ancient ones are here for sure. Okay, these are, there's a presence here, right? There's a presence not only in this space, they're here in this space for sure. Okay, I don't know if you guys can feel it. When I opened the ceremony, there was a huge rush of energy that came through me. It is here present in this space, this messy space and surroundings that I have, but they're present. And they're smiling. They're loving this. They're loving you guys, okay? But they are here for guidance. And right now, the biggest thing they're sharing with me is that right now it's a time to learn, okay? There's a lot of wisdom, a lot of insight, a lot of truth that's being channeled through the collective right now. If you are open to receiving, they are here to give you the way, to show you the way, okay? There is a more, like we've been traversing through the unknown quite a bit in terms of this live stream and just the messages. And I feel the unknown, right, is becoming more and more and more a little bit known. We've become masters more or less through this journey of walking through the unknown, i.e. not knowing where we're going, but walking there anyways and creating along the way and trusting and having faith. And now at this time, because we've essentially passed that quote-unquote test or that lesson, okay, from the divine, we're being shown more information. And so I want you guys to know, if you are curious about what is going on and why you're here and what's going on, and basically whatever you need to know, you can ask and receive guidance from ancestors, okay, from masters, from wise ones, from higher dimensional beings through the power of unconditional love. Keep it safe, keep it secure. But if you're looking for guidance from the above here. Now, it's interesting. The first thing I see here is you see this heart on the top of this person's head. Okay, so you have to know that these beings, it's mostly about wisdom right now. It's mostly about knowledge and insight. Okay, and so anyways, the message is if you allow yourself to be open to their presence, the wisdom and insight that you can channel and know for yourself, okay, is and will be profound. Right now, for those of you guys that are watching that don't know how to channel, or you're not really sure how to receive these messages, it's okay. And the biggest thing I can do is just, or advice for you is just say, allow yourself to be open and allow yourself to receive. Okay, and you can open yourself from the crown chakra all the way down and just say, I'm open to receive. Ancient ones, masters, wise ones who are here to guide me, please allow me to receive any insight you'd like for me to know on my path at this time. So you can ask for help in that way. It's as simple as that. And then relax your entire system, open yourself to receive. Okay, and you can receive the insight like that. And this will be in alignment with your truth. Okay, so right now is a time where we can finally get insight, okay, and see things from a new perspective of love and of love alone. So the transformation happening here is to start to see all perspectives, see the reality of what's happening in a perspective of love. And they want to show us how to do that, essentially. Luminous warrior, the gatherer, the blade. Wow. Everything right now, they want you to know everything right now with the gatherer and the luminous warrior, everything right now that you are going through or experiencing, okay, has already and is going to continue to bolster your confidence, your strength, and your assertion moving forward. And I mean everything. Look at everything that you are going through emotionally, physically, spiritually. Okay, whatever situation you are in right now, take from it the fruits from that situation. Take from it the fruits. Look for the silver lining. Look for the benefit of why this thing is happening and what the benefit is for you on a soul level. And they really want to be clear about this in that, yes, everything we know, right, has happened for our greatest and highest good, but they really want you to get precise and see the things that happen on a daily basis and where it's leading you, how it's making you feel, what it's bringing you to, right? The benefits of that each and every single day, even the most ordinary things, have within it a seed that will help to bolster and improve your confidence, your assertion, and your ability to move forward. So if anything is seeming, right, with the blade here is interesting, if anything's seeming like it's needing to be cut out of your life, if anything's needing like it's needing you to be very strong at the moment, how many guys in the chat, right, are needing to be very strong, very confident, very much in your power, okay, very clear with your focus about where you're going? And you guys, right, you can give me a virtual hand raise. But look at it as another bolstering test for you, or a helpful kind of addition to your life to help to allow you to remember that strongest, most certain way of being that will require you to bring out, right, the weapon of light, to cut out anything, anyone, any situation that is no longer for you. So some of you guys what I'm feeling is maybe in the midst of some type of turmoil. It could be some logistical situation in your life that's maybe frustrating or not going so well, or it's just maybe there's legal stuff involved. And within this, just know, right, it's a reminder that if that is happening, if something is happening that's really causing you a lot of stress, or to really kind of go down in the depths and face something, it's to help you to be even more assured and confident. So look for the fruits in that situation. And yes, you will have to, right? Part of the test here that's coming for you guys. I know I've been saying the word test. I don't know necessarily like that word, but that's the word they're using. Part of the test here is, are you willing to use that blade of light? Are you willing to use that blade of light to speak and be in your truth? Because it's not easy and it's not fun sometimes, right? Take it from from me, and I know I'm very similar to a lot of you guys watching, is, I'm very much not wanting to, there's not a huge desire to take out the blade of truth and light. You guys feel me? It's not always easy to speak your truth all the time and to be in your truth around people and situations, family, okay? How many of you guys dealing with family stuff? People who are close to you at work and etc., to take out your blade of truth and say, you know what, this isn't right. And to represent that in all honesty. But that is the biggest and most significant, I would say, test that is facing all of us right now. And it's facing us, what's happening too, right, is it's facing us on an individual level so that we can practice being in that way, so that we can be that for everyone on a larger collective societal and worldly level. You guys see that? It's the collective worldly global test right now going on. Are you willing, are you brave enough to step into that way of being where you are willing to use the blade of truth and light to cut out anything that is not in that light, and to be fully in your authenticity? And that requires not always being friendly. Okay? And I say that knowing full well, right, you can do this with love, but it does not necessarily always have to be friendly. Does that make sense? They want us to draw a lot of cards today. Middle World, the Wild Woman, the giveaway. We'll stop right there. And they're having me go in chunks of 3 for some reason, or 3 or 4. Middle World, Wild Woman. Oh, hopefully you guys can see this. We'll kind of put that up there. Middle World, Wild Woman. Realize I haven't been showing you guys the cards, TikTok. You who shows the way. You who shows the way. It's a repeating theme that keeps coming up on every concurrent live stream. But this Middle World card. Okay. It is especially important if you do have access to the higher realms, or if you do have conscious or even unconscious access, or you're attempting to live in divine truth. Okay, which if you are already attempting to do that, you are already starting along the path, by the way. So I want to just make it clear, anyone and wherever you're at in your spiritual growth path or your soul purpose, it's absolutely perfect. The most important thing is for you to want to do that. And all that means doesn't mean being the most righteous, perfect human being ever. It just means I'm attempting to live as divinely as I possibly can in alignment with God, the universe, okay? Spiritual principles that I feel are really good for not only myself, but for the rest of the world. That's how you know, right? But for those individuals who are on that path, the middle world, it's especially important that you are able to do this, because you are the ones also who have been conditioned to be able to exist in the real world. So we're talking way spiritual level. This is channeled messages, right? But when we come out of this live stream, it's going to be you're back into the real world with family, with disruption, okay, with all of the other human things that are present, that exist. And you're going to have to learn how to navigate being in the real world with all of this divine knowledge and connection. And that is part of your gift. A lot of you guys likely have Libra aspects to your chart, or you are Libras, or there's Libra, very strong Libra tendencies. And Libra's superpower, what I've realized, I'm a Libra rising, by the way. Libra's superpower is to be able to adapt. As to be able to adapt and to appear to be someone who's able to work in harmony with others. It's the sign representative of the other, right? 7th house in astrology. So that is part of the collective I'm talking to. It's part of our gift. And I would say, don't shun that gift. Embrace that gift. If you don't represent, or if you don't feel like you are this ultra woo-woo spiritual person all the time, that's actually your greatest blessing, because you're here to navigate the real world and to help people right here in reality, but from a place of also having access to the divine in a way that not everyone does. And to have both of those superpowers at the same time is truly the greatest blessing that you can have. Now, the other message that's coming through is right now we're getting a chance to practice that other side, right? The other side of just being a human. So what are the things that you can do that will help you to just be a human? Just go out and do a workout or regular work, or be in the garden, right? Get dirty with your hands, Figure out the little minute details that other people can relate to. That's the side that we are being called to practice right now. That is most beneficial to our journey and our path. Okay. You're going to continue, as long as you want to, you're going to continue to spiritually, or in terms of a conscious level, elevate. So you don't got to worry about that part. You guys are already on the path. But what does need some practice is, again, how you relate to the other. And the other may not be so spiritually inclined. And the greatest opportunity that we have in this world today, okay, is to recruit others to be on this path of love, of and for humanity, of and for individuality, of and for everyone's greatest growth and highest good and healing. And if we can recruit others by being the type of human being that others can relate to and be inspired by, but being relatable, most important, that is the key to what wants to come through all of us at this time. So practice. I know it can be difficult sometimes just being a human being. And this is a cool live stream because I feel there's a very human audience to it, right? There's a very human audience. But at the same time, it's people who are very also in touch with spirituality and spiritual gifts. Okay. And I really want to say too, as time goes on, I do have a feeling that this is going to get more and more humanized, this particular live stream. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. It might just be the case that this live stream is for those people who are meant to then go out and to impact other people and to bring them into their channels. So this might just be for those light workers who are navigating the middle world. We shall see. All right, Wild Woman and the giveaway. Giveaway here in the top left-hand corner, all the way over here. Wild Woman in the giveaway. Right now, part of, I would say, what is helping us to embrace our humanity is the wildness that exists within the deeper, darker parts of the feminine energy. Hear me out. There's a wild side to you, to me, to everyone, but particularly within the feminine energy. Okay, this would be equated to the energy of Lilith and astrology. I'm a huge fan of Lilith. I always talk about her, the asteroid and the astrology. But I really do feel that it's Lilith coming to light. Lilith coming to light. This is a darker, disposed of, okay, separated, isolated, excommunicated, darker feminine energy that is calling for us to embrace her, to love her, to be her, to embody her. Lilith. The wildest, craziest, sexiest, down-to-earth, most chaotic and beautiful parts of you, inside of you right now, want to come to life. This is the most incredible, magical power that you have right now listening to this live stream at this particular time, to embrace all of that, those most wild, free desires that you have deep within your soul, deep within your loins, deep within your hips. That's where this power lies. This doesn't lie directly necessarily in the heart alone. Yes, it's connected to the heart, or can be connected to the heart. We can connect this to love. And that's the problem, is that we have disconnected this part of ourselves, this exists in everyone, remember, collectively, away from our heart. And we've said, this doesn't belong in the heart. This wild, sexual, primal, chaotic part of ourselves that knows no bounds. And we've said, go away, dark energy. Go away, Lilith. We don't want you. We are going to shed you. You are bad. You are uncontrollable. You are chaotic. We don't know what you're going to do next. And you are dangerous. And in doing so, cut off a part of our own power. Now, the root of this comes from fear. Okay? And it's a collective fear. And it's the one, interestingly, it is Father's Day. And I'm honoring the fathers. I'm honoring the masculine through this. But interestingly today, and I haven't checked the astrology yet, but I do sense there's this collective kind of energy around the masculine, right? Healing around the masculine and what the masculine, again, has said and done and transmitted over to the feminine energy. Adam to Eve. And it's this kind of reworking, it's this kind of reestablishment, this re-remembering of the truth. And really the fact that potentially, yeah, from the masculine, it came from a place of fear, of trying to put down this sacred, beautiful part that lies deep within the feminine because it scared the shit out of them. Excuse my French. So speaking on behalf of the collective masculine, I say sorry. And I think that's deserved. And I think part of the reason that the feminine might fear this part of herself, if she does, is because of the shame, is because of the disconnection, because of the blame that we've placed, talking on behalf of the masculine, into this part of her. When really that's the part we should be most embracing of, because that is her true power. And it always has been. So here's what I say. I say no more fear around that part, both for the masculine, but also, most especially for the feminine. Here is your opportunity. Your opportunity is, if this is something that wants to be reawakened inside of you, to be shown to the world, to be shown to the masculine, to be shown to society, to be a role model for what can be, how it can be, and to connect to this wild woman Lilith energy to your heart, but to be bold and expressive and not really care about the judgments that come as a result of which, because you might scare the shit out of people. You might scare the shit out of men. But always know that this is so that they can awaken to their greatest expression of their masculine energy. This is the truth. That the men and the masculine who have shamed this part of women out of fear and control, comes from a place of fear. And that fear is the fear that we won't be able to contain it. Because everything must be contained, right? Everything must be controlled. And that is absolutely not the case with the feminine. So don't be afraid to trigger people. All right. Now, this giveaway now makes more sense connected with the wild woman, okay? Because as you embrace this part of yourself, this and this only, right, is where the greatest gifts can come to you from others. There will be rallying amounts of support, both from the masculine and from the feminine, right? Giving you money, resources, support, establishment, safety, security, encouragement. Everything you could ever need is here if you do allow that expression to flow freely. Because this is the greatest gift that you could give to the world at this particular time. It's the greatest gift that you can give to the world at this particular time. You will be also a role model for others. This is, in particular for the feminine, right? Her way of leading and being a role model for women, okay? Young women, wondering how they should be and how they should act in society, looking to make that choice around whether or not they're going to want to conform for the next 20 or 30 years to what people think is okay, or if they're going to be unafraid and unapologetic about embracing their truth inside of themselves. Okay? So the more you can step into, as the advice from me, the more you can step into that unapologetic expression of energy, the more you will be provided for and led to your soul's purpose and desire. Okay? Wow. And there's the child. So we just talked about being a role model, right, for younger women. Really being a role model for children. I feel that that's the most important thing to think about at this particular time, is how both as men and women, masculine and feminine energies, how are we going to be role models for our young ones, looking up to us, not by our words, but by our actions, by our ways of being. Knowing that we are setting the precedent right now with everything we choose to be and do and represent for their futures and for their truths inside of themselves. And I would say the most important thing is to just give permission. Just give permission, not only to yourself, but to your children, if you have some, or to other people who are watching you who are younger, to be fully, unapologetically within themselves. The second message that came through with the child here is that this is closely related, this wild woman, right, with the child, closely related to being as free and open as you were when you were a child. Think about when you were a child and you were excited and what that looked like and the spontaneity from which you acted in the world, the perception that you had around the world of people around you. It's that innocence and wildness to come out all at the same time. And any healing around that age, I'm hearing 12 or 13, 11, 12, 13, more so 12 or 13. Any healing around that particular age that would have influenced you to be either conforming or apologetic about your deepest and truest expression of yourself. Bottom of the deck, we have completion here. The snake eating its own tail. If we can allow ourselves to do this, finally, to finish this cycle of the lesson we needed to learn, which was to restrict parts of ourself in order to fit in or to conform more with what society wanted from us, what from other people wanted from us, and to come back into, embrace and bring out fully our own truth, then this lesson can finally be completed. And I feel it is completed. And that is why we are all presented with the choice. Because right now the opportunity is to step fully into that new way of being unapologetically, or to go back to the way it was. And we must all make that choice. All right. Those were our oracle messages for this week. Checking with the chat. Progress says it's almost as certain as the serpent. LOL. I think it's Iron. Hey, Iron. Welcome. Yeah, I agree with that. Not words, but in action. Happy Father's Day to all, says Tara. Awesome. Taylor says, yep, needed to hear that. Damn. This one guy to 7. This is exactly how to get through this life. They're the future now. We can give the tools, but let them decide, be who they want to be, and leave their own mark. Awesome. I love that. I love it. G Gab says, cutting them out left and right. That's awesome. Emily Turner says, they don't like it when I get what I call woo, so I hid that for a long, long time. It did not serve me. Emily says, I run at school. All right, guys. So those are the oracle messages. Now let's get into the highest good and love and life messages from the tarot. Now I did give my soul and spirit an opportunity to let me choose a different deck for today, but yet again, they want me to stick with this deck. So the other decks are getting dusty. But I think this one is probably the most honest, straightforward, and truthful deck I have, I would say. The most basic, right? Back to basics. Angels and guides, loved ones, masters, wise ones, angels and archangels. Messages that we need to hear for our greatest and highest good and love in life at this particular moment in time. The power of unconditional love. Here we go. Death. Death, death, death. Not an easy time. Not an easy time. There may be a part of yourself, right? There may be a part of yourself at this time that is undergoing certain death, certain transformation, and a part of yourself that's going to be asking you to let go of it for sure, for good. And you might find yourself clinging on to this last little part or piece of yourself. You might find yourself going, oh, but just a little bit more, or maybe there's something more there, or maybe I can just hang on to it a little bit. And the answer here, what we're saying, is that it's time to allow this part of yourself to fully be done and to die. There's a new part of yourself, right? A new way of being. And I feel really this is the last part of yourself, this last little bit, this last little piece of yourself that would halt or slow or stop your progress from fully expanding into all that you are and all that you are here to do. There is a new path, I feel, that's been presented to you that you're about to go on that will and does require you to allow this last piece to die off within yourself. Now, this piece always, right, embodied and represented within yourself, but may also be represented externally as well, connected to that piece of yourself that is dying off. And so if there's something externally that seems to be ending or going through a death process, that is also connected to the part within yourself that is dying as well. And if you're wondering, okay, if it's a little scary, if it's a little bit unknown as to whether or not you should allow this piece to die, I feel most of you know already, but the answer is absolutely yes. And to allow for the fullest possible death to occur within that piece of yourself as you go on. There's the Ten of Swords with the Two of Wands here. Doing so, allowing that part to die off, allowing that part to go fully, will allow for the greatest new opportunities and possibilities to come into your life in a way that you may have never perceived before. Two of Wands here. It will allow for full freedom of choice. Okay, so there's a part of yourself, I feel, right, that is okay to be subjugated to something or someone else. That it's okay with that, right? That it would rather be subjugated or allow itself to be influenced dramatically by someone or something else. And that's the part that is dying, that is being called to exhaustion. Anything else in your life right now that is still having that hold on you, it's that last little piece, and the ask is to cut that connection. To cut that connection. In order to embrace a whole new world of possibilities that await you. Okay? And this is not necessarily, I'm talking right, not necessarily in love, although it could be, but in any area of your life where you are still feeling in some way subjugated or subjected to anything outside of yourself that would seek to have any influence on the way that you are, where you're going, what you're doing, Okay, anything that has a little bit of control. And it's that part of yourself deep down inside, I don't even know which part this is, that is okay with that enjoys that feels safe in that, or is used to that. That as you have awoken and up-leveled your consciousness, your way of being through your power and through your choice, through your expression, you realize finally needs to end. And it's this part I'm asking, right? We're asking to fully allow to die at this time. Because doing so, Knight of Wands and Two of Wands will allow for the greatest possible experience, the greatest possible experience in love and in life. Knight of Wands with the Two of Wands. Fullness of freedom, fullness of expression, fun times, excitement, and a world of possibilities. Are you willing to let go of the old to take the chance and open yourself up to something new in all areas of life? And to commit yourself to this journey. For a lot of you guys, this may involve travel. Travel will be the greatest thing, potentially, that allows you to fully take this step into the new world that you will be inhabiting with your new life. It is very scary. Someone on TikTok says scary. For a lot of us, travel to a new land, I'm hearing, is the actual ask, is the actual thing that would allow for this part to be fully dead. Like, if there is any part of yourself that is suffering in the current place you are for any reason, for any circumstances, and you know that on the horizon there's a potential trip or travel destination. I'm laughing because those of you guys who've been watching me know I've been considering Austin, Texas for quite a while. And I was hanging out with a friend the other day, Mora, who is a really good friend. She's a psychic medium, way more powerful than I am, that's for sure, in those intuitive or psychic ways of being. I'm catching up, I would say. But she's really gifted. And she's like, she helped me figure out basically that, where I'm at in California, Marina Del Rey, it's like my soul's little resting place. It's comfortable. It's fantastic. It's by the beach. I'm having a good time. But at the same time, I kind of feel that inner suffering because I'm like, I know I could be doing more. And I know that the energy of this particular environment, right, both this home and this state for me, is not so much conducive to fully going out and living my soul purpose and being in all of what I'm meant to be, right? And I know Austin, Texas potentially has more of that for me. So a lot of you guys may be considering a similar type of move from a state. And this is very much speaking of that, for sure. Eight of Wands. Look at all these fast-moving cards. Right? So it's like the minute that we take that leap, the minute that we allow that thing to fully be over and to end, whatever that part of you, again, that's still hanging on to what's known, easier, safer, and secure. It's the main theme of what this means. And to step fully out, well, the momentum and the speed from which your life is going to move is going to be very, very, very different. The place specifically, they're getting very specific with this reading. I think it's good. The place specifically that you will be going carries within it a lot of momentum in terms of the things you'll be able to do for your job, career, business purpose. They keep telling me Florida. I don't know how many, there's over 5 or 6 clients that I've worked with now who've mentioned Florida as being a place that they're considering going to be or to experience or to just visit. And they're actually saying it in this live stream now, Florida, Florida, Florida. So those of you guys who are considering a trip to Florida, that is absolutely, I would say, the place to be or to go. One of the hot spots energetically. You guys have to let me know how it is. I think I'm closer to there from Austin. But basically the theme is you want to be where the tide is rising, Okay? You want to be where the energy is hot, where there's a movement, where there's momentum, where there's a place that people's values and actions are in alignment with where yours are going. Does that make sense to you guys? And I feel for Florida, it's going to represent a lot of where this collective I'm speaking at 111, and I've seen 22 on the screen here a couple times, are going to energetically, okay, which is about, again, the themes of freedom, taking back our power, taking back our rights, right? Individuality, okay? Freedom of choice, all right? All of these types of wonderful things. Okay. And I promise you, I went way political on one of the live streams. I got a lot of complaints. I love politics, by the way. I think I'm going to be involved in politics later on in my life, probably after 50. Who knows? Might even be president. But no vaccine passports over there. We'll leave it at that. All right, Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords here. King of Wands. Ooh, Ten of Cups here. All right. Interesting little reading here that we got with the King of Wands and the Queen of Swords. I'm seeing this right now energetically as the state of the masculine and the feminine at this particular time. The growth journey for the masculine energy and the feminine. Okay. The feminine right now, interestingly, is really strongly in the Queen of Swords energy in terms of she is being asked to be, okay, hyper-focused, logical, to allow her mind and her thoughts to show her the way and to stay very disciplined along that path or a certain path or way of being, and really to not allow too much of her emotions to deter or distract her from what she knows must be done in the path ahead. Okay, this is an interesting evolution of the way of being of the feminine, I would say, especially compared to what we were seeing in the Oracle. But the King of Wands is energy here as well for the masculine. And this is in some ways, okay, embracing more of being in his own kingness, okay? And really the lesson of how to embrace his passion and desire, okay? His own passion and desire and sexuality, sexual desire as well, but in a real, aligned, authentic way. A way that is beneficial, okay, for his influence, his service, his help, his leadership, and for what the feminine wants from him. Because the other thing is there's a certain level of that masculine power, right, that the feminine craves from the masculine. Right? If I were to ask the feminine and ask her if she just would prefer that men or the masculine is just some, castrated, neutral being without any authentic sexual desire for her and therefore power. Let me ask you guys, right? What would the answer be? Would you guys prefer that over someone who is fully embraced in their, right, and has integrated fully their own sexual power and desire within themselves? Or someone that's not? What allows you to be and feel more safe and secure, while at the same time embracing that in a way of the light? This is the challenge right now for the masculine, by the way. It's the highest degree of what the King of Wands energy would represent. Someone who has fully embraced, yes, and experienced, yes, and integrated, yes, all of their true sexual power and desire, but in a way that's also contained, beneficial, of the light, connected to the heart as well, and helps the feminine to feel more safe and secure. And desired as well. So this is from what I can see. And you can see, interestingly, the way the cards came out, right? They both have their backs to each other. So this is a journey that is entirely separate from the other, meaning that it requires them both in their space in order to go through these lessons and to acquire these new superpowers. Right? And right here on the bottom of the spread, of course, we have the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups, Five of Swords, and the King of Cups here. It's knowing where the journey is eventually leading to. Okay. As you guys can see, we have quite an arrangement of cards starting from the top leading down to the bottom, right? About the progression of all that is, with the end ultimate outcome and desire being the life that you could have and do always ultimately dream of and desire in the highest possible way. In the highest possible way. What elements of growth, of certainty, of security, and of evolution, apologies for the camera here, is it going to take still within your journey in order to be the person that is fully able to rest and be and experience this greatest possible outcome in love and in life? What is it that you have not done yet within your own soul's journey, progression, healing, purpose, and freedom, by the way, that will have prevented you from fully being in the experience and enjoying to the greatest possible capacity and being fully ready to drop into the greatest possible relationship and experience of your life? Part of that is freedom. Part of that is the opening of and the expansiveness of choosing from the possibilities. There might be that particular need that is required to be experienced first before we can be fully settled, okay, in the experience of this love. And my ask for you right now is, if it's not present in your life at this moment, what would those things be for you? If you were to ask your soul this particular question, soul, what are the things that I must experience or do before I am fully ready, prepared, able, and excited, and can allow myself to drop into this greatest possible experience? And if there's anything that pops up, whether it's travel, whether it's moving to a new location, whether it's starting a business, whether it's financial wealth and abundance, whether it's healing work within yourself, that is the journey at this time. And Queen of Swords, that is the thing to focus on absolutely, with the foresight of knowing that that particular work is leading you towards your greatest possible relationship. Interestingly, right, Five of Swords is underneath the Knight of Wands. So the question is, right, how do you feel about this Knight of Wands energy? How is it that you feel about this Knight of Wands energy? What comes up inside of you? This essence of being fully free and lit up and casual and fun and excited about the spontaneity in life outside of romantic love. Is there anything in and involved in that energy that comes up in you that makes you a little bit angry? that makes you a little bit resentful, that you may have been hurt by in the past. This is the exact energy that we are being called to step into, to experience for ourselves, and thus to relax and to release any triggers we might have around it. And if you think about this way of being, casual, spontaneous, affair-oriented, okay, fun-loving, flirtatious, avoidant of serious romantic commitment at this time, exploratory. Is there and are there any triggers that come up within you around this? And if so, that is exactly the way to go to experience. And it's part of what I'm hearing now, what our souls wanted to experience before diving into this next venture. Because believe me when I say that this will be a venture in and of itself. This isn't just happily ever after, by the way. I want to make that clear. I think a lot of my readings I've stated this kind of idealistic version of, oh, it's happily ever after, and that's just it. You're just in love for the rest of your life with this one person, and you have a family. Yes, that's true. You'll be very happy, but this is also going to be a whole new game, a whole new adventure, a whole new way of being from what the opportunity is that you have right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to require a certain other commitment or focus or consideration of others personally in your personal life than what you may have to experience right now. So if you knew that this were coming, if you knew that this were guaranteed in your life destiny, which it is for all of us here listening, it's clearly in the cards. 10 of Cups I'm talking about. If you knew absolutely for a fact to a T that this was coming and this was guaranteed, what would be the other things that you'd want to experience, and what would be the other ways of being you would get to experience before diving into that whole venture? Okay? Because this is also going to be work. Okay? All right. I think we'll leave it at that. Hierophant here as well. Bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Swords, the Hierophant, the Hanged Man, the Knight of Swords. This is almost like this unconscious fear. High Priestess here as well. It's almost like I'm getting this unconscious fear, right? If those of you guys who are considering being seen or being public or speaking your truth or representing, right, yourself to the world, it's like this Nine of Swords with the Hierophant. It's like this unconscious fear of what would happen if you were to go out and speak your truth to other people, right? How many guys have a little bit of a hesitation or a fear or anxiety or worry, or feel like it's just impossible and it's not anything that I would ever want to do to go out and be seen to lead and help the world? That there's a profound concern or worry or anxiety around this. A lot of this too isn't just a fear of doing it, it's a fear of knowing, or this deep-seated feeling of knowing you're meant for more. Okay, you're meant for more, you're meant to do more, you're meant to be more, and it's not going to go away. It's not going to go away. Just so you know. And if you have this deep within you, if you know that there's something else that you want to do, that you desire to do and to be and to live out and to express, if there's a message you have, if there's a certain way of being that you have for the world, until you get into this fully, this feeling will not leave you. Trust me, I know. I'm reminded every single day of all the things that I still need to be doing as part of my soul purpose. Okay? All right, we'll leave it there for today. All right, I'm actually very much called in this particular moment. Guides and angels want me to do a specific love reading for you guys, which I was not expecting. Would you guys be up for that? Specifically updates in love for you guys? You guys let me know. Yeah? All right. I know. Let's hear it. All right. Yeah, I was not expecting that. That came in last second because it felt incomplete. And I'm like, why is it incomplete? And they're saying love reading. Here we go. All right. So those were the general messages. I think we've got enough general messages around living our truth. Which deck? Same deck. All right, here we go. Guides and angels, loved ones, masters, wise ones, angels and archangels. Mary Magdalene, Jesus Christ, please join me for this particular reading. Any messages you would like to give to the collective at this time when it comes to love and, well, love actually, specifically love for our highest good and healing at this particular time. All right, you guys have said it's a resounding yes. All right, here we go. Messages in love for our highest good and healing at this particular time, specific to the love situation that we find ourselves in most commonly here, collectively. What messages would you like to give us here and now? Is it freezing on YouTube, guys? Let me know if it's been freezing or if it's disruptive at this time. Here we go. The Empress. In the world. Temperance. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, we got the Empress, we got the world, Temperance, and the Lovers. The Knight of Wands. So it is Archangel Michael. There's been deception, but no more. No more. And what I mean by that is there's been a commitment on someone's part in order to make things right. There's been a commitment on someone's part in order to be fully involved in the divine union. Now, this will take time. Okay? This will take time. But there's been a come to Jesus moment, a come to terms moment on someone's end around the path that they must choose and be on in order to, and for the desire to be within the divine union that is within their heart and soul. And this is the person that has been deceptive around it. The person that has refused to admit this to themselves or to another person. There has been a change. There has been an awakening. There's been a realization of the truth of this union, spiritual union, of the destined outcome of it, of the desire to be within it. And Spirit wants you to know to just be patient around it. You know, we've said this from the beginning, right? We've gone through quite a journey, I would say. Big time journey. And I think we had to go to those places in this live stream. But from the very beginning, we've always said, haven't we? We've always said that it was going to take time, that it was going to take us transitioning away into a new way of being, into our growth, into our evolution. But we always mentioned that the outcome would be change. This is a message specifically for the Empress, specifically for you listening. The feminine energy, feminine collective energy. Okay, for that from which you are already and also becoming more of. The embodiment of all four queens. Right now we're working on the Queen of Swords energy, yeah? I don't even know if I should say we at this point in time, because I think more and more I'm representing the masculine now, just as much as the feminine. But the feminine energy, the message for her is that there's been a shift. Okay. So someone knows where and what they ultimately want now. They are choosing the path to be on that journey. It's been a bit of a test of faith and trust and patience on the Empress's part. And it took some time, and it will still continue to take some time. The biggest truth that I can feel and hear right now is like the representation of there's only one. There's only one person. There's only one person that would truly represent the energy of the Empress for me. Speaking on behalf of the masculine here. There's only one person that would truly represent the energy of the actual Empress for me. And that is the one that I want. So you may have been sensing some shifts around this. You may have been shifting perspectives around this a little bit. But this is the update. This is the update so far. Now, as I mentioned before, both sides are in the midst of, right, here's the King of Wands yet again. So we have on this side, Knight of Wands, the Ace of Swords, the King of Wands, and the Two of Wands. So part of the embodiment of the Knight of Wands energy on the masculine side has been a growth-oriented experience for them to realize the truth of what that is and the truth of what that wants to be. This younger expression of, right, fly by the seat of their pants energy, exploring the possibilities of the world, a necessary exploration for them to step into their kingness, the full integration of that power. Okay? A very, very important part of our growth progression, by the way. Without this part of them, the King of Wands energy, right, they would be, excuse my language, right, a neutral or castrated version or a shell of themselves. Domicile masculine. So painful as it's been for the Empress of the Feminine to experience or witness or be a part of or observe this whole experience, it's also been quite a bit of knowing and letting go and allowing the natural progression of evolution, knowing it has been a necessary evolution or progression of evolution for the masculine to experience this side of himself, to grow into this part of the king that lives inside of him. So we have now the King of Pentacles, the King of Wands. Okay. Ace of Swords is here as well next to the Knight of Wands. So this has been an identified truth, right? A maturation. There again is the Queen of Swords. And the Six of Cups. If there is a divine union or connection that you feel is being led by Archangel Michael, if that's the one that you are connecting with and in, That is the one that is, at this very moment, still being orchestrated to come together for our greatest and highest good. That is the one, specifically. It's a beautiful thing. I guess I'm a little bit, I'm not surprised. I'm a little bit flabbergasted, a little bit speechless. But I'm so glad that we got to read for this, right? Nothing really comes to mind other than truth. And I really just, I strongly believe that this message needed to come out to those of you maybe who are wondering or in doubt or maybe losing the faith or looking for confirmation of the journey here. Middle of spread, or of course, being Temperance next to the Lovers, next to the Knight of Wands. It's still going to require, right, the expansion into freedom and truth. Knight of Wands here. So whatever it is that you need to experience that freedom fully of all the possibilities in love and in life, that would satiate your desire of what you would like to experience before being in an actual 10 of Cups relationship for the rest of your life with someone. Those are the things to go and to do and to be and to experience. And you can do so with certainty and awareness that it is only part of the journey to being with this particular connection led by Archangel Michael in a divine union. Trust the process are the words here. It's not easy to step into and to embody the Empress and the Emperor. It takes quite a bit of work, takes quite a bit of time, takes quite a bit of experience. And that is the process that is occurring fully. The process that would allow, truly, the Emperor, the embodiment of all four kings, and the Empress, the embodiment of all four queens, to unite. And it's part of what will be the thing that will change the world, with the World card here. So don't lose faith, have hope. Here's your reminder, not so subtle reminder. Here are your objective messages. And with this, my hope would be, we're actually going to do 3 more cards. With this, my hope would be that you can take this with all the assurance that you could need right now, all the certainty you could need, and go fully into what life is presenting for you without having to concern yourself over whether or not what you really, truly, deeply want and desire deep down will happen. It is in the process of happening. So fear not. All right. 3 final advice and or outcome cards, please, Spirit. Queen of Wands. Ace of Cups. And the Four of Pentacles with the Three of Cups. It will be through victory and celebration that you become reunited with the person that you are meant to be with. Let it be a bit of a relief for Pentacles, okay? That this love, this connection, this desire, this hope, this desire to be in love with you and you with them has not gone anywhere. That Four of Pentacles, it is still there. It always has been there. It's been hard to see and realize sometimes. But it needed to be, as part of the process, one of trusting the unknown and of transformation into fullness of independence, right? A lack of codependency, particularly on the feminine's part, with which this needed to happen. And I will say this as well with a smile, is that if this live stream, right, the last 3 live streams, I would say, went to those places of wherever we needed to go to get us to be fully empowered and independent, it needed to go to those places. Not conscious by me, of course. These were all just whatever I was feeling in the moment and channeling to the best of my ability. But it was trusting that particular process of really considering the possibility of not being with someone we believe is a divine connection that was the greatest possible initiatory experience, transformational truth that helped us to be fully in our independence and to know that we have a choice, truly, and freedom in what we want, who we want, and what we want to experience and do. And we always will, by the way. But there will be a time when this particular love, this particular divine love is offered in the midst of celebration and connection and reconciliation from a place of desire and hope that has never left the soul in one or the other, despite the appearance. So again, my message is from this new place, whatever this means for you, wherever this means for you, the journey isn't over. Okay. We are in the midst, I want to stress and make it important. We are in the midst of the journey, and we still don't know, right, how things will ultimately turn out. We have an idea of what we would want to turn out. We have a feeling of the possibilities of how things could be, but we truly don't know how they can be. And the message here is both to trust, but at the same time, live life in a way where nothing is truly known. There is no certainty. There is only potentiality and possibility. You get to choose the journey, always. Whatever choices you can make that would allow you to feel most free and independent and to experience everything that life has for you to experience right now. Even if it's romance or love or intimacy or experiences that your soul would want to do independently. We are still growing into the fullest embodiment of both the Empress and the Emperor at this particular time. I'm not sure how many more kings and queens that we need to embody. but we are in the middle of that process at this particular time. So knowing that, and knowing that there's still time involved, getting clear on the things to do before that next venture begins. All right. All right. Those are the messages. That's the messages for today. Let me just check in with the chat here and see any questions. We are going to do a bit of a Q&A. My hope or intention was to shorten these a little bit. We're at 2 hours, but I also know the intro was like 30 minutes because I was trying to get ready as fast as I could. Had a late night and slept in a little bit. YouTube channel, Science of the Soul and Stars, guys. If you guys are wondering, on TikTok, on YouTube. And yes, I think we're going to do questions right now. I do want to just briefly, if you guys are cool with it, look at today's astrology at least, just to see what is there. But we're not going to go through the week ahead. Again, I might do a separate video for that this week. Let's check in with the chat, see the damage. All right. Real Wolf says, yes, please. Silent says, thanks a lot for this awesome reading. You're welcome. Fernanda says, wow. Taylor Mason says, Michelle, you'll go through comments in a second, so definitely ask something if you feel led. Fernanda says, multitude clapping. Jessica says, from every journey you go through, there are lessons learned. Yes, beautiful. Silent says, yeah, but the journey's so long. Michelle says, can we ask a question? Yes, you can. Real Wolf says, it is what it is. Taylor Mason, it's not ab the destination, it's ab the journey. Yeah, you're welcome, Amy. Welcome, Amy. It's good to see you on here. I love that you're participating. All right. Oh, Taylor says she was given a business soulmate. That's awesome. All right, guys. So let's do this. Let's just briefly look at today's astrology. If you guys are on TikTok and you want to see the chart live, you can hop onto my YouTube channel, Science of the Soul and Stars. And I do have the chart set up just in case we did decide to go through it. But yeah, today I just want to do today. All right, so June 13, 2021. What do we got? Oh, no, I'm sorry, June 20th. Wait, June 20th? Is it June 20th? Yeah, it is. Okay, June 20th, Father's Day. All right. So Moon's here in Scorpio, first and foremost. Making a square over to Mars in Leo. So talk about the square, the tension to the masculine energy emotionally. Mars in Leo, right? A little bit of that masculine pain we were talking about from earlier. Moon in Scorpio, trine Jupiter in Pisces here. Beautiful. And Jupiter making a loose trine to the Sun in Gemini, with Venus trining Neptune as well at 22 degrees. Wow. Oh, interesting. So we have here Mercury conjunct the North Node. So remember, the channeled messages were all about like wisdom, insight, right? Intellectual curiosity, or really understanding. And that's where the guides and angels, right? They're like, we're here to help inform you on your way. So if you need messages, if you need truth, right? Just ask and it shall be given to you guys. Okay. Interesting thing there. Sun at 29 degrees Gemini, about to make the transition into Cancer here. So yeah, significant moment here, right? Significant moment of truth, of realization, of really the end of a paradigm shift. The end of a paradigm shift. End of a paradigm shift. So it's almost like the kind of the message I'm getting here is like it's the end of the detour, essentially a detour that we needed to take for whatever reason. to experience a certain reality. Yeah. So we've been living in this kind of weird, more surface level, ulterior reality for some time, with a bit of truth being withheld from us, or us even consciously blocking out or unconsciously blocking out the truth at times, I would say, intermittently, in order to experience a certain way of being. So it's almost like what I'm getting just coming in for today is it's the end of that. So it's almost like for some reason we were, again, compelled, or it was natural or necessary to live with a part of truth being held from us, you know, being blocked or held from us. Unconsciously, in order to experience a certain way of being, in order to give us perspective and the experience of doing so, so that as and when we do come back into full truth, we can see all sides of it. Okay. And this is the end of that paradigm shift. Culmination of that paradigm shift. Okay. Very interesting. Wow. Pluto here in Capricorn, making an opposition to Venus here as well at the same time in Cancer. And Saturn trining, making a trine to, a loose trine to Mercury in Gemini with the North Node there. And then interestingly, we have Lilith sextile, Lilith trine Pluto. And sextile Neptune. Okay. So speaking of that wild woman card that we pulled earlier, Lilith here in Taurus. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not making a trine. That's making a yeah, it is making a trine to Pluto. So it's that fully realized opportunity karmically to actually it's really even more of what's interesting is it's less of an opportunity. It is an opportunity here because Lilith is still sextile Neptune and Pisces here, of spiritual transformation through the deepest embodiment of your soul. Okay, so a bit of a confirmation here, but basically the theme or lesson here, set with the sextile to Neptune, spiritual wisdom or embodiment or awareness, interestingly, goes down into the body instead of up at this time. So the more that you can go down into the hips, down into the lower part of your body, down into the primal, the more conscious or aware or free you will feel. That will open up a whole new world of possibilities. Do you guys see that? Interesting combination here with Lilith and Neptune, right? But the spiritual growth and transformation is going down, not up. It's going into the hips, going into the legs, going into the loins and the primal. And as you evolve in that way, as you progress in that particular way, that is how the whole new world of possibilities opens up to you about ways of being and things you'd like to experience. So if there's any opportunity you have to practice that, to dance within that, to integrate and embrace that movement of energy down into your body, the more it will help you to open and embrace these possibilities. So think of particular ways which help you really be in the body and to embrace all parts of that within you. Doing this as well carries with it very rewarding and profound karmic rewards. Okay? With Saturn trine Lilith here as well. No, it's not. I keep saying that. Saturn trine Mercury conjunct North Node. Lilith is trine Pluto. So it's about transformation. Okay. And there's that Chiron in Aries making a trine to the South Node and Juno here. So what it feels like to me with this Chiron in Aries trining Juno here, the main reason why we've been able to receive the truth that we've received today as confirmation or clarity in love specifically is because part of the culmination or lesson that we've learned here that's finishing up before a whole new paradigm is the lesson of freedom and independence, right? It's also the lesson we're going to get to really go into now. Like, we've learned how to detach and be within ourselves and independent and heal and release codependency in any sort of way, be back into our own selves, despite the strength of a divine or romantic connection that you've experienced potentially in the past. Now that we've learned that lesson, we're able to receive the full truth once again, and also to have the opportunity to live within that and to experience what that's all about from a newly embodied way of being, of independence. Okay? So I've been talking about this for a little while now, but the next paradigm of where it wants to go, right? Now that we've learned how to detach, is to now live with that detachment. To live and to be open and to be free with that detachment in mind. And to experience what that's all about. That's this next segment of life, what it wants to give to you. And what a perfect time for it to be heading into summer. No better time to express freedom, the body, and sexuality than summer. The Knight of Wands energy. Okay. They are calling me to go a couple days here. I'm not sure exactly why. Maybe leading up to... June 22nd. Let me put the camera back on. June 22nd, Moon comes into a conjunction with the South Node and Juno here. And is going to make a trine over to Mars in Leo. And also a sextile over to Saturn here in Aquarius. I would say this is the height of the new adventure. The height of the new adventure, or clarity around where you must go or to travel to, or definitive plans potentially being made or settled around the new adventure you'd like to embark upon. June 22nd, 2021. So the message, and I think the reason why they want me to keep going just a little bit longer here in this astrology part, is there are some important days here to keep in mind, or some important aspects or things to know that are happening or coming into being. But I keep hearing plans and logistical certainty, okay? Or confirmation of choice around where you'd like to go and what you'd like to do and to experience here. But travel, specifically around travel. June 22nd, 2021. Then around on June 25th here, we have the Moon coming into a conjunction with Pluto in Capricorn, making a trine to Ceres. Oh, yeah. So there's the other part that is really feeling strong at this time is the process of the collective awakening comes to mind. The process of the collective awakening becoming very strong I don't know if you guys can feel it, but there's a big kind of surging, rising of the tide energetically right now with people. And I really, if you really feel the presence, like the common presence of what individuals are realizing and going through and awakening or realizing too, it's very significant. Like even if you jump on TikTok or if you go on YouTube and look at the comments and look at some of the feedback from what other people are trying to push upon individuals and what individuals are saying back, it's very different and it's very strong. And there's a big rising of the tide that's occurring here. And I feel the 25th here, they had me stop on this date in particular, is a very significant milestone when it comes to that. And it's a date to be aware of a shift in what will be allowed to be expressed. That's the words. It's a date where there will be a significant shift in what is allowed to be expressed. And I'm not exactly sure what that means, but those are the exact words that they're using with this particular date. But it will be significant. I do feel it's very significant on this day. Now they're saying one more stop here. Hold on. I think I missed the full moon here. How could I miss that? Let me check out the full moon here. Although they didn't stop me on this day, which is kind of weird. I'm just going back because I'm like, I want to kind of cover this. Full moon here in Cancer on June 24th. You guys can see. And I believe it's an eclipse. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry, full moon in Capricorn. Sun is in Cancer. South Node, Juno, again, still trying Chiron here. Beautiful at 12:12. Okay. Mars trine South Node and Juno. And trine Chiron. Beautiful. Venus making almost an exact opposition to Pluto. Yeah. I do feel that the biggest thing, I think the reason they didn't stop me was it's the feeling I get with this is it's like the full culmination officially of any ounce of codependent energy that might still be within us, or you or us or me, right? Everyone. The culmination of that in a positive and harmonious way. Actually, I believe we're making a grand trine here. Mars is making a grand trine to Chiron and Aries and Juno in the South Node and Mars. So it's like within, right, a soulmate, twin flame or soul connection relationship, Juno here from past lives or your past, okay, on this day, helping us to really fully finish out and heal and feel really good in having released any ounce of codependency and really embracing the fullness of our freedom and independence and authentic power and choice and expression. Beautiful day, actually. Really nothing but positive things on this day, I would say. I'm not getting anything icky. I'm getting something. I think they wanted me to focus on the serious things, right? Because I know we're getting long. But yeah, this full moon is going to be beautiful. I really do feel that. It's going to be, I like the feeling that I'm getting that we're going to have is just like, wow, I freaking love life. Like I'm so free. I'm so happy. I can do whatever I want. Like I'm enjoying the experience of this is incredible. So just nothing but good times there. And that was just me wanting to, I'm like, I think we missed the full moon. But they did say one more stop, and they're saying this day right here. So June 26th here. What else? Why are we stopped here? Juno? They're saying look at Juno. Juno sextile Saturn in Aquarius. and trine Chiron here. Okay. All right. So here's the deal. So that, okay, we'll end with this, but here's the deal, is that this, now that we've come back into ourselves fully and the truth, our truth, and the truth around this divine union and this connection, right? It's like we're back into the truth that we needed to reintegrate after going through a wild ride. Okay. Myself included, obviously. Maybe some of you guys knew the whole time. I certainly didn't. But with that present, right, with that re-embodied and reintegrated, okay, now that's going to serve a different purpose. And that purpose is more so about stepping into the opportunity to serve for our karmic awakening soul purpose for the world. Juno sextile Saturn in Aquarius, the waking up of the world. It's like the integration of this truth, of this connection, this person, this destined outcome that you would like, even if it is not close or near, if it's still taking time. It's like the truth of that embodied can really aid us, aid you, aid all of us into knowing exactly, being very clear with how we can be of service to help with the awakening of the world specifically. That is the opportunity that they'd like to point out. Is that the more clear you are and settled you are with that truth, right? The more clear and the more of an opportunity you'll have to know exactly why and what you're here to do, your specific, they're saying, purpose. How to do your specific purpose. It had to go through this crazy roller coaster settling, figuring out stage, honestly, in order to get to this place where it's now can settle in the body, right? After culminating with, again, breaking free, detaching, becoming fully independent, to now kind of come back into a settled, balanced place within our own souls, and now to give specificity with the opportunity to embody that truth, or to utilize that truth, to utilize that embodiment, okay, of the connection itself to steer us in the right direction. Okay. So they're saying basically that the opportunity, don't be afraid, don't be hesitant to lean into the truth of the connection itself in order to know what you need to do. Does that make sense to you guys? In order to know. Don't be afraid to lean into the connection itself. We're speaking at 222 right now. Don't be afraid to lean into the connection itself in order to know exactly where to go, what to do. Because the truth there, right, will also be connected to your truth out there in the world. Okay. And we're going to end that right there. 222222. Thank you, spirits and guides, for that. They were very specific with what they wanted me to cover today. I literally was like, oh, okay, you want me to keep going? Great. What day do you want me to stop on? Like, I had no clue. Oh, goodness. Sometimes I ask them when, I'm like, just, you guys just take over. You guys just take over and just let me get out of the way. But those are the messages for today. We're going to end the reading part now. And I do have some time and energy for some questions if you guys want to get into questions. It is a crazy ride. TikTok, thank you guys for being with us on this crazy ride. You're welcome. I hope this was helpful for all of us. Let's go ahead and get into a few questions here. You guys are welcome on TikTok. If you guys want a question answered, you guys got to hop on YouTube for me. If you haven't already, do me a favor and like the video on YouTube if you are appreciating or enjoying this content. I really appreciate it, and helps this video be seen so we can guide more people and find more of our soul tribe and impact the world. And then if you haven't subscribed already, be sure to subscribe if you want continued weekly updates and divine guidance here, both for your zodiac sign and on a collective basis for divine connection and true love. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it. So if you guys have particular questions, okay, not about your personal love situation, but if you have personal questions about what was channeled, my insight on that, questions about spiritual growth or destiny or purpose or how-tos. We've got a wide range of possibilities here, so lay them on me, and I will answer to the best of my ability. We'll probably get through 3 or 4 today, okay, depending on how long I answer each one. 3, 4, 5. I think Sana's not here, so it's just going to be me riding solo with the questions today. Madeline, you're welcome. Pisces Affect, what's up? Pragya, hello. Go get that bag. Pisces Affect 222, next level. My truth is that it's okay to focus on abundance and money. That's awesome. Jennifer Mason 222, next level. Makes perfect sense. Madeline, we didn't get to the week of the 27th. Hopefully we'll get there next week, or I'll do another live stream with the astrology this week as well, if you guys want one. Jen's laughing. What's up, Jen? Good to have you here. Michelle Diamond, please, I've written a letter which I'm nervous to deliver to a Virgo who has cut me off. I just need some confirmation. Hope this is appropriate. Well, this is technically a personal love question, Michelle Diamond. To which I've said, no personal love questions, please. But you are saying please, and you sound like you could really use some guidance here. And the thing I would say is whatever, here's how you know generally if you should do something or communicate with another. If you truly need to do something or say something or write something to someone to get it off your chest, to let it be what it is, and to feel fully complete within your own actions, that will help you be more at peace, not just a temporary peace, but a long-term peace, the thing that would fully allow you to let go and to be fully independent without any cause or concern about what happens to the other, what the other thinks, then that's a yes, I would say. But you must be willing to completely and fully detach and let go after the delivery of that action. And I would only say to do it if it's something that you feel you must express in order to feel at peace and certain. And then to be able to detach. That's what I'll say. She says sorry. All right. And I am, as always, right, and I'm asking for intuitively right now, and they're not giving me a yes or a no. So sometimes they'll tell me yes or no for a specific question. They'll be like, absolutely tell her to do it. They're saying, this one's on you. This is your choice. This is your choice. This is part of your particular growth right now, is to choose whether or not to deliver that message. Okay? So I can't, and I won't say yes or no to that, but I will give you some advice. All right. Good, Madeline. You're welcome, Michelle. All right, there you go. And look, if you just, if you wrote it out and you already feel better just by writing it out and you no longer feel a need to deliver it, that's great too. Sometimes the act of just writing out what we're feeling or thinking or just going through is very, very helpful in its own way and right. And sometimes we never need to hit the send button. Sometimes we do need to hit the send button, and only you will know that, right? And you wrote a letter, so, you know, in terms of delivery. But writing itself is very healing in its own way. So you may even feel complete with just that. Barbara says, totally mind-blowing reading from beginning to end. In the surreal feels. Thank you, Brennan. You're welcome, Barbara. I'm in the feels too. You guys are probably sensing my energy. I'm like, damn, what's going on today? Karita, hi. I've been seeing the number 44 and 77 several times a day for a long time now. What does it mean? It's likely your life path. That's the first thing that comes to me. Persistence and abundance and spiritual knowledge. Persistence, abundance, and spiritual knowledge, 7744. Keep going on the right path, but be willing to persist and go through the hard work and hard times. Specifically, your life probably has been a lot about hard, enduring, persistent work. And they want you to know that that's going to lead to a place of spiritual knowledge, growth, and yes, abundance, but it's more so about mastery for you. 7 right there. You're leading to a place of mastery, okay, to be able to be of service for others. So to keep going, that's your life path there. Jen said, coffee looks like it's running low. It is definitely running a little bit low. It's a big cup, so I still got quite a bit. And I must admit, I was up a little late last night. I had some kombucha, and it had black tea in it. And so I'm like, I was like, I'll be fine. It kept me up all night. I was like, oh gosh, this is way too strong. You're welcome. Praga says, I wanted to give you another thank you for this reading, especially the spontaneous love reading. It just feels nice that someone was able to vocalize it. Thank you, Praga. Thank you. And thank you, by the way. I just want to give a shout out to Praga. I think she's been with us from the very beginning, through the ups and the downs on almost all the live readings. And she's just been amazing. And I really appreciate you being here. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you, Praga. You're a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful soul. And you're a blessing to this community. Thank you. All right, Riri, what are my metaphysical gifts if spirit wants to speak? Clairvoyance. So they're saying two words, psychic attunement. Clairvoyance and psychic attunement. I'm not really sure what that means specifically. I think it helps. Oh, interesting. They're saying that you have an ability to be able to get other people's energy attuned to the highest degree or frequency that's possible for them. I don't know if you've already done this or not. It might be a little unfamiliar, but part of what you do is you help to reorganize or reassess or to align and attune other people's energy to be to the highest degree and capacity that it has, Riri specifically. And also clairvoyance was the first thing I heard. And this comes through presence, by the way. So you might have a presence that does this automatically as well. Okay. Angela says, how do you make it this through retrograde this month? It has kicked my butt. Yeah, that's a great question. I think every retrograde is different, right? This retrograde's been interesting for me. I think it's been great. It's almost like it's been bringing up a lot of the stuff that I really feel I need to do or think I need to do to get to, but then not giving me any of the motivation to actually do it, and therefore forcing me to kind of accept the part of myself that's a little lazy or just wants to just be comfortable and to enjoy. And the friction between those two parts of myself, And so I would say acceptance is a big theme of this retrograde, right? Acceptance of your current way of being and or your habits and or your current desires, in friction with kind of all the things that you feel you should be doing or need to be doing at this moment of time, and kind of surrendering to a little bit of laziness, maybe. Tips. I would say the biggest tip here is to check in with the energy every day. So, and I haven't really been doing this too much, but I've been doing it more on the go. But what you can do is kind of, as you wake up or as you go throughout the day, give a quick check-in to what the energy of the day is. Because what I've been experiencing, and maybe you guys can relate, is there's certain days where I'm just let's freaking do this. I go do a bunch of live streams. I go do a bunch of recordings. I'm I'm fully motivated to do stuff. Other days where I'm just I just want to do nothing at all. And I want to go for a walk or just, play games or meditate or whatever it is. And it's just accepting each of those energies for the day and not trying to resist it in any way, But giving a check-in. The only way you can do that is by being aware, right, of the state of your soul in every moment or every day about what it wants from you. Okay. And then also being very specific about what you feed your soul. And this could be, again, with your actions that day, with what you choose to engage with or to do or to experience that day, and also food, right? I know there's a few people I know that are shifting diets, right, as well as myself. I did cheat a little yesterday, full disclaimer. Cauliflower pizza. All right, Jennifer says, and yeah, Jen says, just go with the flow. Yeah, totally. Jennifer says, is angelic Reiki my career and not the one for my degree? Is angelic Reiki my career and not the one for my degree? Have always been drawn to the angelic kingdom and just want to help. I'm really getting a very strong no. Okay. Let me see if I can clarify that. Okay, so they're saying don't throw out the gifts from the degree and or the service that you can do or be a part of within your current opportunities and future job. So, and then the angelic Reiki, it feels like that's more of your personal growth vehicle, like within yourself, like you're like getting connected and you're expanding and you're learning and you're growing and you're really kind of going all into that, and that's awesome. But in terms of a career, I think that's very separate, and they're giving a very strong no to separate that like from your actual career. It really feels like the way in which you earn money or income or another part of your life, it's very different from the angelic Reiki, if that makes sense for Jennifer. The other guidance they're giving to you is that you have to remember wherever you're gonna go and be involved in, especially with your attunement with the angelic realm and the development in Reiki, you are already helping through your presence alone. Okay, that's part of the shift. A lot of us are being called or drawn to, right, organizations specifically to that we're working within or that we have a certain presence in as we're growing on this journey, because these corporations and organizations are the thing that will really change the world. Like, I think there's a growing awareness now, right, on a human level, that big time organizations, conglomerations, companies are the thing that have a very, very significant influence. Very groups of collective humans all working towards a common goal. This is the power, where the power lies. And so if we can, as individuals, influence or have influence within our own companies or organizations because of our spiritual attunement, that in itself is doing massive service to the world. Does that make sense? All right. But definitely, she said, thank you, that makes sense. Just, I'd say definitely don't stop the angelic attunement. That's awesome. They just want you to make a clear distinction that it does not feel like it's meant to be your career, full-time career, right? And I'm not saying don't do it with other people, don't maybe do it on the side, but there's a whole different path for your career that wants to start to unfold here. That's really significant for your journey in particular. Actually, it's very significant. So they're being very specific. They're like, tell her there's a very important path for her involving career specifically, involving your degree. Okay. All right. OMG, Brandon, that's big. That makes total sense. Okay, good, Riri. Aaron says, how do I figure out my soul purpose, life path? Really good question. All right, Jennifer, glad it helped. How do I figure out my soul purpose and life path? Funny, we are doing, I guess, more individual questions, but it's around like life purpose and soul journey. This is fun, right? All right. Not even using cards at this point. We've progressed beyond the cards at this point. How do I figure out my soul purpose and life path? For Aaron Ratcliffe. So everyone has a different way of figuring out their soul purpose, right? One of my primary catalysts and tools and vehicles was astrology specifically. For Aaron Ratcliffe, Aaron, I want you to ask yourself these questions. What are the ways, and this can apply to everyone, but specifically for Aaron, okay? What are the ways, it's most prevalent, what are the ways in which you can be of most service or benefit to the world? What are the skills or ways of being that you've developed over time and in time that have allowed you to be of most natural or naturally occurring service and impact to other people around you in an organic fashion? What are those ways in the most organic and naturally occurring fashion that you seem to have the most benefit upon others, physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically? What is the theme of that core service or impact that you are providing simply by being? What happens to other people? What happens to other people in a beneficiary way, in a way of mutual benefit around others that is strong and impactful and positive that you can do, or that occurs just by being? This is the way in which they're directing me for you, that you can ask what and how you are of most service, and then creating how you can create a way to be and do more of that for more people. Like, how can you do that for the most amount of people possible, whatever that is that you come up with? That's what I would dive into for you, those questions. And they're even saying for you, reflection is going to be key on this. Like, a logical understanding and integration is very key right now for you. So don't just kind of feel it. They want you to actually either write it or say it out. Like, write it or say it out in a visual way for you specifically. Visual, they're saying. Even maybe a picture. And when you do this, you will gain more of an understanding of what your purpose is. Okay? They want you to go back to. They want you to go all the way back. They're saying go all the way back and see what it is that was naturally occurring within you that affected people in a very positive way. Okay? All right. Oh, Jennifer, you just got your college degree. Yeah. You know, what's funny is I'm like, for whatever reason, your degree felt really important. I'm like, they're like, don't throw out the degree. They're like, the degree is like really good for you. Like, it's where they want you to go to, right? So that's funny. I didn't know you just got it. That's really cool. All right. Cheryl says, cracking your neck, overextended time to rest. Thanks, Cheryl. Not quite yet, but I will take that into account. And you're probably right, by the way. Somehow help people open up their heart, open emotionally in ways that they haven't. There you go. Okay. There you go. So if you have a unique, this is for Madeline, so this wasn't, but you guys can ask yourself this question as well. Yeah. So Aaron, the key for you, right? Yeah, digging deep, yes, but start with the surface level. Start with the very logical way. They're saying that's key for you. Don't just try and go all the way. Start with the surface level, writing, drawing, just thinking about it. That will lead you to the depths. Okay, that's how they're saying your physiology works better that way to discover this. All right, hope that helps. Okay. Love Lighthouse. Simply enjoying myself seems to bring peace and love in the world and has a positive impact. I love that. I need to hear that reflecting back to me from the church, and I will. That's amazing. You know, I'll say something here, you know, that I realize is like there's a lot of and Dolores Cannon speaks about this, any Dolores Cannon fans, but she speaks about there's a whole generation of people, probably I think closer like in their 30s, mid 30s and 40s, that came here just to literally exist, and through their very existence bringing in love and lights and happiness into the world and peace. Like, doesn't matter what they do. Like, they're constantly trying to find out what they're here to do, why they're here to do it, what their purpose is. And it's like their purpose is literally just to exist and to enjoy and to experience. And through that very process of their energy field is like bringing that frequency to the earth. You know? So a lot of you guys, it might just be that. Amy says, got to get back to painting. Otherwise, I took a break because I always look forward to this, but I only get one day off work, so I got to get it done. Yes, go do it. Go do it. Go do it. We got to end out here pretty soon here. I know Cheryl's right. It's time for me to get off here soon, but I'd love answering these questions. Any other questions? Riri, you'll figure that out. You'll figure that out. Let me see if there's any last questions here that I can answer. We'll do maybe, I know I said 3 or 4 in the beginning, but these are smaller questions. These are fun to answer. M. Toro or Riello, what's the significance of connecting with your twin flame during retrograde? I would say more, the significance is the awareness of it on an energetic level and fully coming into a place of certainty and love and peace and joy around that, and the acceptance of the fact that it exists, it's real. That's what I would say during this time. And it is a significant thing, by the way. If you guys are wondering, it's a significant thing to kind of embrace that, and to not resist that if it is and does exist for you. If it does exist for you. It won't exist for everyone, but okay. Oh, Jennifer, it's good. Yeah, I'm glad it was your first time here. Welcome. Hopefully we'll see you guys next week. Yeah. I'm just checking. Any last questions here? You guys have a good time? Thank you guys for all your questions. Thank you. Riri says you don't need cards, Brandon. I know. I know. I don't need cards anymore. That was a big breakthrough for me. But they do help to keep things exciting. We're at 3,222 playbacks at this very moment. So I feel it's a good place to end. All right, this last question goes out to, we'll end on Melanie Brewers. She says, I'd be interested to see what my superpower is so I know what to put on my cape. Is it possible to hear other people's thoughts? How can we overcome codependency, especially thinking it's our karmic partner? Next level says, did you see my question? I didn't see your question. Oh, how do I overcome social anxiety? Melanie Brewer's superpower. Yeah, the first words that come, Melanie, for you. Hearing the words karma or karmic awareness intention. Karmic awareness intention and the ability to see through and to be fully aware of the karma that exists between individuals generally in love and in life. You have an awareness of the tension that exists between individuals on a karmic level that needs to be unraveled and unfolded between them so that they can be on their path. Your greatest superpower. Social anxiety. Oh, there she is. Good, Melanie. Hold on, oh, there it is. Social anxiety for next level. Oh, now you guys come with the questions, right? Now the questions are flying in like crazy. I'm deciding how much longer I want to stay on. I'm actually okay to go for a little bit more. It's funny. I'll let you guys know when I'm really out of steam though, fully. But for next level social anxiety, he or she asked, how do I overcome social anxiety? Social anxiety is, what's interesting is it's like a relatively newer thing, or a thing that's been re-evolving over time. Like it's kind of always existed, but it exists in a very different way. And the reason it exists in a very different way is because of the perception that other people are now allowed to put out there about themselves, which is an illusion most of the time, right? Or it's a facade, or it's an artificially or synthetically created idealistic version of what they would imagine would be most pleasing, attractive, and or relatable vision of themselves. And of course, a big majority of this goes out on social media, right? So the version of other people that we are constantly exposed to is as close to their individual perception of the ideal as possible, based on society's standards. This is the problem, or the challenge, right? I would say not a problem, it's a challenge. So social anxiety in a different way has been growing or manifesting itself even more prevalently now because of that phenomena of the opportunity to basically manipulate what it is to be acceptable to be seen in the public eye. Does that make sense to you guys? So the biggest thing that I would say about social anxiety is piercing through the illusion that you are different or outside or not up to the standards of what it takes to be accepted and or praised and admired for who you are. This is the biggest thing. Realizing that it's an illusion in itself. Let me repeat that. Realizing it's an illusion in itself that you as you are not up to the standards of what it would take to be accepted, admired, or respected in the eyes of other people. Because the only thing that you're comparing yourself to is the reality of what is real versus the illusion that's propagated. And so, of course, if we compare what is actually reality to the illusion that continues to be propagated and evolving, like this propagated illusion that's constantly evolving in its own right, what we can call a shadow of society, then of course we're going to believe that what and who we are is not up to par. Increasingly so. You guys see that? Like in an increasing fashion and manner, we're going to continue to believe, right, that we're less and less compared to the ideal. So the answer is this, and the reason social anxiety exists is to teach us that what and who we actually are, the reality of what we are, right? The truth of that is also the medicine of what everyone else really wants deep down inside and needs for their soul. And knowing that any sort of judgment or lack of approval or, kind of this desire to make you conform to be different comes from their own conformity, their own choice to conform or propagate the illusion, right, of what they think is acceptable in their own soul. And I know that's a very kind of esoteric way to understand it, but I want you to get that the truth or the core of that is knowing that as you take the chance to actually show up and be fully as you are in reality, the most human side of yourself. And you've seen me, most of you guys have seen this progression in me, right? Like me becoming more and more real and more human as we go, that's 100% accepted and appreciated and, admired for what it is. The same goes true, right, with with you in other social situations, right? Social anxiety. So anyways, I know we got a little off the rocks there, but that's where I believe it comes from. That's where I believe personally it comes from. And so the more we get okay with both accepting who we really are outside of the illusion of what we think is appropriate, embody that more, embrace and love that more, right? The more we allow ourselves permission to show up as that. And when we show up as that, the fear starts to dissipate because we no longer believe that we are less than what other people expect or want from us. Does that make sense? All right. Good question, Nexla. I'm glad I answered that question. Sarah Lord says, to share the truth with people who hate so much and are wrong just to validate myself feels wrong. To share the truth with people who hate so much and are wrong just to validate myself feels wrong. Why? To please them? I don't need their validation. I will share it all where it matters. Court. Yeah, I love that. Why does it feel wrong? Because it's not in service to the other. Okay. Or I'm not sure if you're actually asking that question. Or it feels like you're more stating something, which I agree with. But yeah, if you are asking a question, I would say that the reason it would feel wrong is because it's in service to the self to share something simply to validate your own truth. And that's actually kind of a violation of your own self, because if you share with people who, are not open to accepting you or your truth, then it's also hurting yourself too, because you're lowering your self-value by giving yourself to people who will not treat you well or not treat your truth well. It's going to clear some of the energy here. It's kind of a harm, right? It's a sin to your own soul, which is why, right? If there's anyone like that in your life or generally, then they don't belong in your life. Only people who will listen to, respect, and admire you for being you and your truth belong in your life. Very well. Brandon, what is your favorite crystal right now? I would say there's a couple. I've been really digging the lapis lazuli lately. It's really helped open my intuition and to be able to channel really fluently. So that's been great. Selenite's always helpful when I can feel some weird ass energy coming up from live streaming, just for wherever it comes from. And then selenite and quartz here to keep things as pure as possible. Those are my current favorites. Citrine's also always a powerhouse for me. Madeline said, is there a way to help someone who is struggling with exactly that, fear of being their true self after being a false mask for so long? Just loving them. Just knowing that it's not anything you can do to convince them. Like you can, like someone like that, you can share with them at every opportunity you get. Like, you're perfect the way you are. You're amazing. Like, be truthful to yourself. Like, I love you. And no matter how much you do that, until they actually believe that in their own self, which is a journey and a process, and it takes time, and you got to be patient and let go of the outcome there, will they be open to receiving that? So all you can do is accept them for where they're at and love them unconditionally in that stage, I would say. All right. All right. All right. I think that is it, actually. I had that confirmation deep in my soul. I think it was the social anxiety question that needed to be answered. Interestingly, right? Like it's funny the way this works. What I've realized, we're just about to hit 3 hours, so it's really perfect. Is I'll have an intention to be like, okay, it's probably time to start to wind down soon. And then I'll be like, but I feel like, okay, there's still something there to be that wants to be explained, or there's a reason I still need to be on here. And then once that thing is explained or done, then I'm like, okay, I feel it. I'm like, that's it. Like I feel at peace, right? So it's very funny. So my soul will always tell me, and that's for you guys, right, listening. It's like, it's just the more you can be connected to that part of you, where you're just being guided and trusting unconditionally, and where your soul wants to go, and when it's time to stop, and when to go, and it's a really beautiful place. So anyways, I just wanted to thank you guys one more time for being on here. That is the end officially of the live stream. One more time, I will ask for a shameless self-plug here. If you guys haven't subscribed already and want to continue to get these updates and be part of the Soul family, we are growing an amazing community of light workers here to change the world and step into their soul purpose through guidance, messages, and inspiration. So be sure to hit that subscribe button. And do me a favor, hit that like button as well if you did enjoy and appreciate this content. I really appreciate it. It helps this channel and video grow so we can guide more people. Exciting new venture for me on Twitch. So I'm doing live cold personal readings and cold personal astrology chart readings with my wonderful moderator, who's known as What Up Jen here in the chat, better known as Self-Worth in You on Twitch. And we'll likely be doing these 2 or 3 times a week. If you guys do want a free personal cold reading at some point, or to have the chance to do that on Twitch. So if you want to be part of those adventures and follow me on a whole new platform and help us to take over Twitch by storm, because I believe it's the new place to be for spiritual leaders and influencers here in 2021 and beyond, then you can follow me at my Twitch link in the description box below, twitch.tv/btobias6. If you want a personal reading from me or personal session, or you need some clarity and in-depth guidance in your situation, you can work with me at brandontobias.com. And if you haven't already followed me on Instagram, that is where I post a lot of very specific love and life readings and updates that need to come through Instagram specifically for whatever reason. And also that's where I announce when I'm going live on most of my platforms. So BT Speaks, all one word. Okay. And yes, someone ticked us that Twitch is a game app. It was a game app. It's transforming into a whole new world. And that's why we're taking it over by storm, because I haven't seen personally any other like astrologers, tarot readers, personal or spiritual influencers on there, or spiritual growth leaders. I think Jen has seen a couple, but it's very few and far between. So I feel like that would be a really, really cool place for us to go. And the energy is really good over there. So I'm digging it. But anyways, sending lots of love to you guys. Last comments here. Today's live reading reiterated what you said last night. I suppose it did indeed, Kim. Agreed, Kim. Beats by 6 on Twitch. Yeah, thank you so much. Really enjoyed reading. Oh, yes, that's awesome. You and me, thank you, Brandon Rowe of Super Accurate Readings on Twitch. Thank you so much. Jen says hi. Good. Praga says, sending you so much love and light. Thank you for all you do, Brandon. You're welcome, Praga. Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. That's it. Love and light. Take care.